I wasn't going to film a video today, but I got a few questions that really made me feel like I didn't explain something well. And I felt it in my heart that I just needed to turn on the camera, hit record, and film something for you guys. I've had conversations with a couple artists that seemed confused about how to promote on Spotify and what the different promotion methods actually did to bring new listeners in, and especially how they differ from one another. And some of them are even my clients that I run ads for. And I felt that those people should especially have some kind of resource. And that's the point of this video. I'm just gonna explain, just in plain English, what I see as the difference between all of these different ways to promote on Spotify. And I'm also gonna bring in some of my buddies, other incredible marketers, and bring in their insights as well. Because at the end of this video, I just want you to know what each marketing tactic will do for you so that you can plan your marketing campaigns appropriately. You might be deciding between a bunch of options. Should I run a playlisting campaign? Should I do a meta ads campaign? Should I use Spotify Showcase or Spotify Marquee? Should I do social media posting? And I want to cover all of those in this video. I was going to script something out, but then I felt that I would just hit record and see what comes out, and hopefully it's valuable to you guys today. Something that John Anderson sent to his mailing list this week. If you don't follow John, check him out, twostorymelody.com. He wrote, "Tell me what it means to be healthy. Does it mean to run a marathon, bench press 315 pounds, win the 100-meter dash, free solo El Capitan, live to be 90 years old plus, or spend your days marketing music and your evenings complaining to your wife about how dumb marketing is?" I loved that message because what he's getting to the core of is that you can optimize for a lot of different things in your health, and the same is true for music marketing. You can choose one strategy that brings you something specific, and that's going to be called music marketing. But another strategy that's also called music marketing can bring you something completely different. And I just want to go through that list that I mentioned earlier, starting with, well, let's start with Spotify's tool. You probably have heard about the marquee campaigns and the showcase campaigns, and they're not unlocked for every artist in the beginning. But once you do unlock those tools, they're basically like the boost post button, just built inside of Spotify, right? You get shown on the Spotify app. Now, the marquee and the showcase campaigns are different styles of how your music is shown to brand new people. But here's the concept and the takeaway, and I'm going to try to provide one of those for each marketing style. The concept of marquee is that you're paying Spotify to display you on the app, and the takeaway is that it's easy. It's easy to spend a lot of money. It's like a slot machine. You can put your coins in, you can, register your credit card, and you can spend a lot of money very quickly with Spotify Marquee and Spotify Showcase. However, what I've found, and what others have found as well, is that you're not really optimizing for much, and it also can be quite expensive compared to other methods. Now, what do I mean by you're not optimizing by much? Well, first off, the entire tool is largely automatic, which can be a really good thing for artists who have very little time to figure out these other marketing styles and don't want to spend time video editing because there's no creative element. Spotify creates it for you. It takes your album art or your profile image and it displays it in certain areas. With Marquee, that's a pop-up, and with Showcase, it's just on the Spotify homepage. And so that could be really good. It is a little on the expensive side for most people. My buddy Andrew Southworth, he did a test and he found that on average, the cost per listener, this is the cost to acquire a new listener, is over $1. He found that it was $1.11 for his campaign. For my own music, I've had varying results depending on the song. So just like with all marketing, whether it's playlisting, whether it's meta ads, the result of the campaign is going to depend on the song itself. And I've had a huge range from over $1 all the way down to 50 cents because the song and a lot of times the album art, depending on what the marketing style is going to matter the most in that situation, right? In that context. So that's Marquee and Showcase, the Spotify built-in tools. It's quick, it's easy to spend money, it's easy to get a fast result. Does that result last? I think it does. I think it's a really good option, and it's self-serve, which makes it very easy for artists to self-manage that and add that in whenever it makes sense from a branding and from a music perspective, right? Around release time or around a tour, right? And because it's so quick to set up and to get traffic out there, it could be great for specific moments, timing-wise, in your career. And I think it's great combined with other methods. In fact, that's what Andrew said. He said, in my opinion, Spotify Showcase is a great tool that can get you somewhat predictable results, but it can't be the only tool. You should also be releasing great music regularly, posting engaging social media content, running ad campaigns, playing shows, collaborating with other artists, and anything else you can. That's from Andrew. And I completely agree, which is why we're going to continue the list, and I'm going to talk about meta ads next. What does meta ads get you that's different than Marquee and Showcase? Well, first and foremost, let's talk about the difference in traffic. Spotify Showcase and Marquee, it's all getting generated on the Spotify app itself, right? There's no platform converting. You're not interrupting anyone's scroll. With meta ads, it's the opposite. You're doing all of those things, right? You're trying to convert someone from one platform to another. What's required of you is to interrupt whatever they're looking at, the cat video, the post from their friend, whatever it might be, other influencers, right? We have to win over their attention and have them move from one social media platform to a music platform like Spotify, right? And that conversion from one platform to another is tied into the name of the campaign, right? The type of campaign is called a conversion meta campaign. And this is a really powerful tool for many reasons. For one, in order to set up a meta conversion campaign, they need to experience something about you. They need to see you on camera. They need to hear your music. They need to see some sort of video or a photo, but videos work best. And they then make a decision after viewing some of your content and some of your branding. This is a huge difference from Marquee, and it can lead to a more intentional listener for a couple reasons. One, they're not just seeing your photo or seeing your album art. They're actually listening to your music and then making a decision to act. Do I check out this artist on Spotify? The ones that do will then need to click out of Instagram or out of Facebook or wherever the ads are running. And once they click out, they need to then click the play button on Spotify, which is yet another action of intent. So if they click the play button and they've made it all the way through that journey, that means that they are very likely to listen to your song in its fullness, hopefully, right? It's not a guarantee. There's also the possibility of getting a low quality click, which is why I recommend you get some training on this. I have a program at the Indie Music Academy that basically teaches you how to become a professional ads manager for your own music. It's called the Spotify Growth Formula, and I'll leave a link in the description below if you care about that. Another huge difference is that you can target the whole world at once with a meta campaign, and Spotify sees all that traffic as people who are coming into your Spotify ecosystem, right? Spotify sees that as basically the same as organic posting on Instagram or whatever. You're just going viral, right? It sees that traffic inbound on Spotify, and it's treated differently compared to generating that traffic within their own advertising tools. And that brings us to the sponsor of this video, LANDR. For the past 3 years, I've been recommending LANDR distribution to artists who need a professional suite of tools to produce, master, and distribute their music, all while retaining 100% of their music royalties. So when LANDR noticed my channel and asked to sponsor this video, I was more than happy to continue spreading the good news about LANDR distribution. They do so much more than just get your music onto streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music, because with LANDR, you get everything you need to produce and release your music, including samples, plugins, unlimited distribution, and the world's best AI mastering engine. Plus, meet with your team anywhere in the world with real-time music collaboration collaboration software, and tap the talents of a community of pros to take your music to the next level. All of this is included inside of LANDR Studio. Now, if you already have a music distributor, but you're looking to upgrade, LANDR accepts outside ISRC codes, so moving your catalog is a breeze. Plus, they will collect the YouTube Content ID royalties for all of your songs. So if you're thinking it's time to upgrade your distributor, then click the link in the description below to get 20% off your LANDR Studio account. And then you could cancel all those multiple subscriptions and enjoy everything you need to produce and release your music with LANDR Studio. And now, back to the video. And I'll talk about this concept more about how different streams are treated differently, especially with playlisting. And that's actually the perfect segue, because playlisting is a form of influencer marketing, and that's no longer traffic coming from another platform. We're returning back to that first concept of generating your traffic within the Spotify ecosystem, right? So with Marquee and Showcase, you're using the built-in Spotify Boost Your Post style tools. With playlisting, especially with third-party playlisting where you pitch to influencers on Submit Hub, or you hire a pitching service, much like the one at the Indie Music Academy, whatever you choose, those playlists are independently owned traffic streams that your music gets to tap into once you get placed on that playlist. So when you get placed on a high traffic playlist, you can think of that as tapping into a pre-existing audience, and hopefully you get the overflow of all that exposure, right? You're not buying the playlist, right? The influencer still owns that playlist. The playlist curator is the one that truly owns that audience. Just like when you're running ads, Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook, and when you're using Marquee and Showcase, Spotify owns the users of their app, right? Spotify is just pushing other users that don't know about you and pushing them to your profile, right? So it's all about borrowing traffic. That's the same across the board. But with playlist influencers, that traffic that you're borrowing is from independent curators, and that shows up in a different place in your Spotify for Artists analytics. So if we're looking at a holistic strategy now, where you can check all of the boxes for Spotify, and you'll literally see the traffic categories in your Spotify for Artists portal, right? We've moved from profile streams to now this new category of third-party playlist streams. It's literally called people who stream in other people's playlists, right? So that is the influencer marketing approach to Spotify, and it's highly effective. Unlike meta ads, which shows your video first, right? This is a completely different type of influence, right? Just existing in the playlist is the influence. Whereas with meta ads, you're showing a video and they're hearing your song first, and then they're deciding to click, and then they're consuming your catalog later, right? So these are all different marketing styles that are creating a different beginning of their journey to discovering you. And the nuances and the subtleties of this, I think, are really important to know and remember. Another thing about meta ads, before I move too far along, is that it's a slower process compared to Marquee and compared to playlisting. Meta ads, you need to basically win over your fans one at a time, but you're just doing it a lot of times because that's the power of getting all of those paid impressions using the Meta advertising tool. And once again, this is not boosted posts. This is using Meta Business Manager, like how I teach my students in the course. So I just want to make sure that you're not confusing this with just clicking the boost post button. It's not the same thing. With playlisting, you're getting all that traffic, that entire audience, all sent to your music all at once. And just like Marquee, it is kind of like a tidal wave, and you can see it in your analytics. If you get a big playlist placement, you'll see your streams shoot way up. Same thing with Marquee and Showcase. If you put $500 in there, it's going to spend it really quick, right? Spotify is ready to take your money if you want to use their advertising tools, and your streams will shoot up real quick, almost straight up. And then with playlisting, at some point, you'll get taken off of that playlist, and then your streams will go back down. Same thing with Marquee and Showcase. Your Showcase campaign will end, your budget will run out. Like Spotify literally asks you to put the full campaign budget in there, like $500, and it'll spend your $500 in like 2 days. So once that campaign ends, and let's continue talking about playlists, you need to see what your new normal is. You need to see what the overflow of that traffic resulted in, right? You need to find out who stuck with you from all of that influence from that influencer marketing campaign, that playlister that shared their audience with you. Real quick, I want to give you a free gift for hanging out with me today. It's my free course called the Spotify Playlist Marketing Manual. It's an easy to consume 60-minute free course that shows you the full roadmap, going from 0 streams to your first 1,000 monthly listeners to over 25,000 and beyond. In this training, I reveal what Spotify actually wants to see from you to trigger the algorithm and get free streams every time you release a new song. And I also cover how to develop multiple streams of traffic to your Spotify, including playlists, so that you could get new listeners and song saves every single day. Look, these are the same things that me and my team do for our artists at the marketing agency, and I want to share them with you inside this free training. So if you want to build an effective marketing plan for your music, whether it's a new release or your existing catalog, this training is for you. It's completely free and you can get access instantly. Just register your spot by going to indiemusicacademy.com/playlists. Now back to our video. And sometimes playlisting can be a little emotionally jarring because you get a little bit used to having a lot of traffic on your music, right? If you're borrowing the traffic of a playlist influencer and you get placed on a playlist and you're now getting 2,000-3,000 streams a day on your Spotify, you start to feel good about that and your monthly listeners go way up. And you think to yourself, I can get used to this. I really like having people listening to my music over and over again every single day. But remember, you hired an influencer to share their audience with you. Nothing in life comes for free. And just like any other marketing platform or any other marketing exchange, whether it's Meta ads with Zuckerberg or Spotify ads paying Spotify directly, pay per play basically, it's the same thing with influencers. They understand the value of that traffic. They understand the value of getting that level of exposure, right? 2,000-3,000 new listeners every single day is huge. That's usually more than the average marquee campaign, showcase campaign, and meta ads campaign, right? Combined, playlists can be that powerful and can give you that much traffic so quickly, and it can throw you off. And then when you get off that playlist, it's kind of like, oh man, back to normal, you know, summer break is over, and you get a little sad because you remember that that traffic all along was borrowed, right? Now, borrowed traffic is not a bad thing. In fact, you can make an argument that all traffic needs to be driven by something, right? Whatever musical group you are in, you can think of yourself as the first and primary influencer with your own Instagram profile and your own Facebook profile and your own TikTok profile, right? And you're supplementing on top of that, right? So every bit of influence and all streams need to be driven from somewhere, including on Spotify's own platform, right? We'll talk about the algorithm and also the radio algorithm and these different things like discovery mode in another video, most likely. But all streams are driven. Even the major labels are driving streams to their artists. It's not automatic. It's not, if, I don't know if I'm going to ruffle some feathers by saying this, but if the major labels actually left it to true organic streams, all of your favorite artists would look very unimpressive, okay? And so they're all manipulating the traffic sources so that their artists can become more successful and look more impressive in all of our eyes, right? Even amongst the other industry players. So let's finish up this video by talking about you being your own influencer, right? And this is the all too commonly referred to as just post on Instagram, post on TikTok, promote your music by just posting a lot, right? What that is, in more specific terms, is that you need to be your own influence for driving streams to Spotify. And if that means building up a YouTube channel, or if that means building up an Instagram following and learning about those best practices and those algorithms, then you are generating your own value and your own traffic through the work of your own sweat and brain and striving. How do you do it? You just gotta play the game. It's like choosing your character in a role-playing strategy game. You gotta choose your strengths, you know, sacrifice other platforms to focus on certain ones that you are just naturally gravitated towards, right? And don't overthink it. If you want to focus on one platform and learn it, you start to figure out what that platform requires of you to capture the attention and the watch time from the users of that platform. Once you invest time, you'll figure out that content formula for yourself, right? It could be a structure that you use over and over again, or a way that you present yourself that resonates. But that has to be discovered for yourself. And in fact, I give an incredible example in this video right here. If you want to try to be your own influencer and generate your own traffic to Spotify, and of course to the rest of everything that you're gonna do for your music, check out this video right here, because I go into a couple of strategies that I think are gonna really help you out.